Colonel Rob Maness has a lifelong record of providing dedicated service to this nation. Having worked his way up from the enlisted ranks to full colonel, he served our country for more than 32 years. He has served as a bomber squadron commander, bomb disposal technician, Joint Chiefs of Staff Operations Officer, assisted the National Security Team with the campaign plan for the global war on terrorism. He authored the first theater nuclear war plan and served as the Vice Commander of America's largest airborne intelligence wing. Colonel Rob Maness is a true American hero. This is Rob Maness Live.
In today's technology-driven world, it's hard to know who to trust. And in a land of chatbots and AI, you want a real partner that gives your business the technology needed to thrive. Introducing 14 Bravo, a real technology partner with a mission to empower businesses to not just thrive, but to make a difference. Founded by law enforcement officers, our premium Blue Label business solutions are built for performance, reliability, and purpose. 14 Bravo is backed by 100% US-based customer support. Our industry-leading Blue Line Payments platform gives your business fast and secure payment processing solutions for any business. Our Blue Line Technologies platform offers an all-in-one business management suite that makes running your business easy. And our custom MyRange Solutions platform is a first-of-its-kind marketing and management platform built specifically for the firearms industry. When you choose 14 Bravo, you're not just choosing better technology, you're joining a mission. Every transaction with 14 Bravo powers our mission of giving back to the organizations that serve our nation's first responders, veterans, their families, and the working canines that dedicate their lives to serving and protecting. You deserve a real partner with real solutions. Join 14 Bravo and don't just do business. Let your business do good.
Welcome back to Training Tuesday, folks. The Rob Maness Show's live on Worldview Tube and our X-Spaces simulcast. Well, a financial technology company serving those who serve us. That sounds great. You all know the story, though. Companies that are woke and don't like American values, all while cornering the markets, funneling us into their services. That's what happens most of the time here. And we deserve better. And that's why entrepreneurs are starting up companies. That's right. They're starting up companies like the one we're training you about today, 14 Bravo. But these new startups, they're different. They've got a real mission to support Americans and the values we all believe in. You know, values like the Second Amendment and the freedom to think and speak what we believe without fear of stuff happening like being debanked, which has even happened to the current president of the United States. They're also different because of who is founding them. We just heard about 14 Bravo. It's one of those revolutionary tech companies. They provide industry-leading payment processing and business technology solutions to businesses of all sizes and industries. The company's proudly founded by law enforcement officers and payment history or industry executives. Their mission is to support the businesses that power our communities while giving back to organizations that serve our nation's first responders, veterans and their families, including our nation's working canines who dedicate their lives to serving and protecting all of us. And my guest today is the 14 Bravo CEO and founder, retired Sergeant Jason Rothermond. He's a decorated former law enforcement officer. He's a political advocate. And of course, he's a fintech entrepreneur. From leading Lexington, Kentucky's elite canine unit to shaping Kentucky's first gang bill and now building 14 Bravo to support America's law enforcement, our veterans, and our working dog communities, Jason brings powerful experience and stories of service, leadership, and innovation to this fight. Jason, welcome to the Rob Maness Show, sir.
Colonel, thanks for having me. It's an honor.
Well, I appreciate that. I love what I see in your company, my friend. This is fantastic. I can't say you're the first, but you're the first police officer that I've met that started something like this, and I think it's just fabulous. Tell a little bit more about your background. I obviously didn't go over your whole history, but you've had a leadership role in police organizations and community organizations for many years now. Tell folks about that.
Yes, sir. Well, obviously, former retired law enforcement officer, retired out of special operations as a sergeant and the K-9 unit commander. I was a bomb dog handler there. So I was the kid that got to live his childhood dream of, of service. And for me, as I grew older, it became really important. As I had friends that went into the military and stuff, I always viewed it as the way that I was serving my country. So very honored to have a law enforcement career. Very honored to have gotten out of it in one piece. But during that time, I was elected as the Fraternal Order Police President. And we had a significant say in legislation. I was extremely politically active outside of the police department for several years. So I had a lot of connections. You and I have a lot of the same friends. And I really didn't know quite how the sausage was made until I got in there and realized, that the only friends that I had were the ones that I came in with, for the most part.
Yeah.
But that really opened my eyes. And as you know, a career in service in the military or law enforcement, you're faced with real world challenges every day. Our veterans and our police officers are faced with them continuously. So as I retired, I began looking for other things and opportunities popped up. So I really didn't know anything about financial tech, didn't really know anything about the processing industry. But I learned quickly. I became the COO of a financial tech startup, was able to scale that and assist in getting some private equity investments. And when I left there, it just kind of clicked. So I understood, I saw the money that was going through the company and said, this isn't too hard. But the one thing that I saw that was missing was that it was just a tech company. And as I've looked at this industry over the years, and as your viewers know, especially if you're a business owner, processing is kind of one of those, don't want to talk about, don't want to know anything about necessary evils. So we're wanting to change that. And I think we've got something here that is able to combine the industry experience with a real passion of mine. Something I've always wanted to do is to continue to serve veterans and law enforcement officers and our working canines, obviously, because that's something that's very close to home for me. So I'm really excited about the opportunity, definitely honored and excited to talk about it on your show. Absolutely,
man. Well, you revealed another connection that I hadn't even thought about, even though we talked a few weeks ago. We met virtually again after meeting last year. And that is that, I was a bomb disposal tech when I was a young enlisted guy. So I'm very appreciative of bomb dog handlers. They've saved me.
You're crazy too.
Yeah, yes, and they saved me from things before. Yeah, you're absolutely right. The crazy people have to hang together sometimes, especially in professional life. So I appreciate that. Well, so talk about how the services that 14 Bravo provides set them apart from the other companies. You mentioned that, well, they're just financial, they're just processing companies. The other ones were, but is there anything special about the tech services you provide that sets you apart too?
Yeah, well, when I joined the industry, I negotiated a lot of partnerships and a lot of partnership deals, and so I really learned the companies that were kind of on the periphery that helped deliver technology. And again, it was, you see the bigger companies, everybody's familiar with them, the stripes, the squares, circles, triangles, all the different tech companies
Right.
that are out there. They don't really talk about anything other than we are a tech company. And not to be condescending, but in terms of substance, we're not reinventing the wheel here. We're putting it on a different vehicle, right? And you don't always have to be first, as you said, as long as you do it better. And I think that adding the personal touch with what we do, combined with our mission overall, with 14 Bravo, in terms of giving back and who we support and the organizations that we support, makes it unique. I looked far and wide and spoke with several industry leading partners while trying to start this up, because it is very important, obviously, when you're dealing with other people's money and with businesses' money, that's kind of number one for them, right? They've got to survive. So they're trusting you with a lot. So it was extremely important for me to vet and find really good financial infrastructure partners. And I was able to find that guys that have been in the industry for over 30 years, acquiring banks that don't cancel you because of the type of business that you are, especially being extremely involved in the firearms industry as I am. That is a real challenge that almost every gun store I walk into talks about or doesn't want to talk about, because, like I said, it's just kind of a necessary evil. So we're looking to change that, and giving technology a personal touch and a personality in terms of a brand. I honestly don't want people to look at me and think payment processor. I want people to look at me and think, I always say when I work with the gun guys, it was really a trigger for me to notice that they've never seen somebody. I always say when I walk in, they see somebody and that they're not used to. They see somebody that's one of them, but I'm also one of them in terms of the payment processing guys. And that's something that you just don't find. So in terms of making us unique, that's really our approach, is being upfront with what we support. And obviously there's a lot of, you don't have to go too far, but there's a lot of companies out there that compromise, on their values, or just won't talk about what they stand for at all, in fear of repercussions. So I think anybody that knows me knows that that's not something I've ever been afraid to do. So we're going to take that to the mainstream with this company, and we're giving real big companies and industry leaders, some that you've talked about that are doing the debanking and stuff, we're giving them a run for their money early on.
Yeah, I'm glad you pointed that out, is because a lot of people are kind of hesitant to get into business because everybody has to start small. I don't care how much money you have, really, how much capital you have available. You're still starting small because you're entering a space usually as a business owner in a business that where you're pushing your way in, you're elbowing and shouldering and making the space for your company to exist. And do you think, I don't know if you ever get to talk to any of these folks from these big companies that have debanked people or cut off their credit card processing without notice and those kind of things. Do you ever get the sense that they're concerned about that? The big ones are, and that they're going to try to do everything they can to keep a company like yours from succeeding?
Well, I mean, I have interacted with some of those guys, not as much as I have interacted with the people that they impact with their decisions. Yeah. But I can tell you, they are mostly, in my, of course, opinion, in my dealings with them, they're kind of too big to care, I think, a lot of times, the way they see it. Yeah. And I mean, I'm sure there's viewers that are on all sides of the deep state conspiracy spectrum. I think the older I get, the more one-sided I get on it. But there really is something to your question, in terms of the impunity that people operate with. It is an extremely highly regulated market, first and foremost. And anytime you get into a highly regulated market where you can impact somebody's bottom line, you're going to face some challenges. We've faced some. And, I think a lot of it is just ignoring the fact that this stuff's going on. These aren't the droids you're looking for in terms of, we don't talk about the debanking, we're going to just go about our way. And you would honestly be surprised, Colonel, how many of these major, I deal with some of the larger gun retailers, in America, who are actively banking and processing with the very people that are debanking the president and have shown consistently they're willing to shut people down. And it's very difficult to convince them because of the security that just being around for a while that they feel they don't. And then they end up usually calling us.
We got to take a commercial break, Jason. When we come back, I'm going to show another clip. And I pulled a couple of these clips, folks, off of the company's YouTube channel because we're doing some training on this company. I'm interested in doing business with them. I want to get you all trained up on what the differences are between a company like this and these other bigger companies that debank people like Donald Trump, or worse, debank people like you and me. I've lived with concerns of that for a long, long time, many, many years now, ever since I entered the political arena in 2013. And especially during the Biden administration, because it seemed like these companies were trying to please their government regulators. And I want to talk some more about that regulation and barriers to entry and those kind and lobbying that goes after people in their bottom lines. I come back with Jason Rotherman, the founder and CEO of 14 Bravo. It's a very unique country, and it's got a real mission. We'll be right back.
Hello, I'm Brandon House. I want to thank you for all your support at wvwfoundation.com that helps make possible pushing out 24/7 content for free. Without your support, we'd have to put it all behind a paywall. But thanks to you and your support through our foundation, we're able to push it out for free as a broadcast service and broadcast ministry of WVW Foundation. Please consider going there and setting up an automatic monthly contribution, or go there and make an occasional contribution. If you prefer to support us through the mail, you'll find our mailing address there at wvwfoundation.com. You can also call and make your contribution over the phone by calling 901-825-0652. That's 901-825-0652. Again, all these details are available at wvwfoundation.com. Thank you for your support as we try to help people around the world understand the times through the lens of a Christian worldview.
In today's world, payment processing fees are just a part of doing business. But what if you could do something good with those fees? Now you can. Introducing Blue Line Payments by 14 Bravo. Blue Line Payments offers industry-leading fast, secure, and reliable payment processing. For businesses across the globe, founded by law enforcement officers and payment industry executives, our payment technology partners have over 30 years in the payments industry and are trusted with over $100 billion in transactions every year. Our sponsor bank specializes in high-risk industries and was recently named as one of the top 10 merchant acquirers in the U.S. With Blue Line Payments, we give you the power of experienced and the most advanced financial technology to take your business to new heights. We offer next-day funding, virtual terminal solutions, omni-channel processing, and ACH solutions, state-of-the-art chargeback and fraud protection tools with seamless gateway integrations and API support for custom platforms. Blue Line Payments is fully PCI DSS certified, and we proudly offer 24/7 US-based customer support. At Blue Line Payments, we give your payments purpose. Each transaction powers our mission to support organizations that serve our nation's law enforcement officers, military veterans, and their families. So, stop overpaying with ordinary processors. Don't just do business. Join Blue Line Payments today and let your business do good.
Welcome back to the Rob Maness Show on Worldview Tube. We're live on our X Spaces simulcast and transmitting to all of our live streams on Rumble and YouTube and Getter and X, Facebook page at COL Rob Maness on Facebook. We're there. Hey, I'm on TikTok now. I want to get the live stream going there, but I need followers. So go follow us on TikTok. You can find us at COL Rob Maness. And that's important. Because the more people get this information, they can get training on things that we talk about here on this show, especially on Training Tuesday. And we're talking with retired LEO Sergeant Jason Rotherman, who's the founder and CEO of 14 Bravo. And Blue Line Payments is one of their things that they do, one of their new things. And you heard at the end of that video, one of the things I want everybody to pay attention to, a part of what they get when they do a transaction goes to organizations that support law enforcement officers, canines, veterans. And we all know what the situation is with all of those categories of professionals, especially after they leave service these days. 22 a day for veterans is not something that's just a tagline. It's very serious business. And this is one of the ways that we can do it. And it's a unique opportunity and a unique company, but for that reason, amongst many other things. And Jason, welcome back. Again, I want to thank you for coming on and teaching us about your company because it is unique. This is the only, I know a lot of men and women that have started companies over the last 10 years. And this is only the second company that's started by a person with your background. The other one's a military veteran, where part of their transactions actually on a day-to-day basis goes to the mission that some people just say, well, I'll donate such and such, later in the year to a 501c3 supporting X, Y, or Z, in our case, veterans and LEO and canines and those kind of things. But your business does it every single transaction, right?
Yeah, so we're extremely unique in that from that standpoint. And, like I said, this is a technology company and we are a business. And part of the business case, our approach is, when we talk to a client, we're going to save you money. That's number one. You have to be able to make the business case. Second of all, we're going to provide you with industry leading technology and services and US based customer support as you saw in the video. So the core principles and approach of the business case, and I think it's extremely important because there's a lot of well-meaning companies out there, and you and I both know veterans and law enforcement owned companies. It's a tough transition for some people to get out of what I call being institutionalized for 20 years. To transition into an entrepreneur and actually compete in the market, especially this market. I don't know anybody else that has done it, like you said, the way that we're doing it or with the background. But to your point, our profits, the whole point of this business is for us to be able to do good. And if you look at some of our literature and our videos, I always talk about purpose. With Blue Line Payments, obviously, signifying the tribute to the thin blue line, it's extremely important to ensure that we're being transparent and we're actually going to put our money or your money where our mouth is. And so we've taken it actually to the next level. Not only does our company actively support organizations, causes, events that support our law enforcement, military veterans, and working canines. But we actually have formed something very special. It's a passion project of mine, and it's called Task Force Bravo. And what that is a particular program that takes our giving to the next level. And there really is nothing like it out there that I'm aware of. And what that is you and I are familiar with mission briefs. You and I are familiar with task forces. And the way that I explained it, to my wife is I'm saying, look, honey, here's when I was, on the auto theft task force for the police department as a detective, we had the task force that was the team. We had, guys that were taking keys from car dealerships, that worked there, taking them out of the drop boxes and then coming back and stealing the car. So, our mission was an operation, and it was Operation Hide a Key. So, we've kind of taken that template along with a mission brief format, and we've created Task Force Bravo, and we have 3 sectors of operations that we give to. One is Operation Blue Angel. That is our law enforcement giving mission and operation funnel that gives specifically to organizations like the Fraternal Order Police, like Copline, and we do have a focus on officer suicide prevention. That is something, all of these things in each of these categories are something that are very personal and close to home for me. And so we have Operation Blue Angel for that. Our second one is Operation Land Shark. As I'm sure some of you all have heard, our four-legged heroes referred to land sharks. But that gives to our canines, our working canines. I've been a member of the USPCA. I've been a member of NAPAWADA in terms of the handlers and certifications. And so there's a lot of associations that do a lot. Hurricanes Heroes to provide health care to canines when they retire. It's a big issue. And then our last one is Operation Blind Echo, and that is one that focuses on our military veteran organizations, Gold Star family organizations, and supporting them. And that's actually Blind Echo. There's a real personal meaning to that. My good friend, Matthew Bradford, who I'm sure you've heard of, was a Marine injured in combat with an IED, lost his legs, lost his vision, was President Trump's guest of honor at the State of the Union during his first term. And a good friend of mine, have coffee with him every Thursday, and he was Echo Company in the Marines. And so I spoke with him last week when we came up with the design. The 3 and the sword kind of incorporate their unit patch and company insignia. And so, there's a lot of plays on words there in terms of Blind Echo. He is blind and he is a member of Company Echo, but, we often talk about how being blind is, losing your vision is the beginning of faith. As I've heard, as everybody's probably heard, with Marcus Aurelius, what we do in life echoes in eternity. So there's a lot of stuff going on, but those things are all very personal. And so what we've done is created a way for people to engage in our online store and engage with our company as an affiliate partner. We have a great, really strong affiliate program, really easy to sign up. And so we've really pushed our purpose to the front so that people understand what we're really about. We make no bones about it. And we're very excited, obviously, about it.
So on the affiliate thing, if I have a small business company or even a large business company and I want to be an affiliate, you just go to your website and there's a tab there, I assume.
Yeah, we actually have a refer tab on our webpage, and if you go to that refer tab, there's an explainer video that talks about the program. You can be a company, you can be an individual that signs up as an affiliate. When I started doing that, I had friends that owned businesses. I refer them to companies. You get a residual off of the payment processing from that particular account for the lifetime of the account, and that's a really can be a really big deal depending on volume of what those guys sign up. But it is a way to support our company and to support the causes that we've just talked about. And it's a good way for, it's a good revenue stream for people. I know a lot of people that actually make a pretty good, living off of, simply connecting and being a referral partner, but we make it really easy is the big thing. You don't have to go sell anything. You just enter in the information. We handle it from there. It's really simple.
Absolutely. Well, we got to take another break. Unfortunately, I do have a hand up in the live audience. We'll take that question when we come back from the break, Jason. And we'll continue this conversation. I want to dive into what are the 10 high-risk businesses. I got a feeling I know one of them, and they're gun shops. And how the company 14 Bravo helps them navigate some dangerous waters, really, from a profit perspective and keeping your business going perspective. amongst some other things. We'll be right back with Jason Rotherman, CEO of 14 Bravo. Go check it out. You can find find him on X and the company on X too. That's the easiest way to go do it. We'll see you in a second.
All right, everybody, that wraps up the first half hour of the Rob Maness Show live right here.
Hey guys, Jason Rotherman here, founder of 14 Bravo. Today I'm excited to announce the next chapter in our mission. Due to the incredible growth we've experienced with our payment technologies and the overwhelming support for the mission of 14 Bravo, we're making a bold move to scale both our impact and our reach. 14 Bravo Payment Technologies is now officially becoming Blue Line Payments. This allows us to streamline and strengthen our services in the payment space while continuing to operate under 14 Bravo as the parent company, which is the heart and soul of our mission. Blue Line Payments will continue to deliver the same industry-leading, secure, and U.S.-based customer solutions that have earned us the trust of business owners across the country. From gun shops to retail stores and contractors, healthcare providers and e-commerce brands, every transaction will continue to fuel the mission of 14 Bravo. A mission to support law enforcement officers, military veterans and their families, and our four-legged heroes. It's business with a backbone, technology with purpose, and a team that never forgets who we serve. For those of you that haven't already checked us out, head over to 14bravo.com, give us a like and a follow on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and X. Now, whether you're a patriot, a protector, a small business owner, or someone who simply believes in backing those who serve, we invite you to join Task Force Bravo. Welcome to the next evolution of purpose-driven payments. Let's go to work.
Welcome back to Training Tuesday here on the Rob Maness Show. We're live on Worldview Tube and our X Spaces simulcast and all the other social media live stream channels that you know that I'm on. My guest today is that man right there, founder and CEO, retired law enforcement sergeant, Jason Rotherman. And Jason, welcome back. I got a question from the audience. I like to take those when we get a hand up to make them part of this show. Let's go ahead and take that. And then I want to get your, your company says it helps those in the 10 most high-risk businesses. I want to talk about those high-risk businesses so I can learn more about what they are, because I'm sure I don't know all of them. I have an idea about one of them. Go ahead, Shell is our host in our space with that question.
We have True MAGA, sir. True MAGA?
Oh, hey, thank you. Thank you, Jason. I like your entrepreneurial spirit. I think our kids really need to understand what you're saying about sharing the profit. That's great. I mean, it's not just your company, but you're also sharing. That's how the company can grow. It's like a free enterprise support system, payment system that supports law and order. So that's awesome. So how did you end up getting to learn that mindset? I was kind of curious.
Well, in terms of the entrepreneurial mindset, it's something that I think I've always had. I've started several businesses. I had a business prior to this that I sold, and I think my wife will tell you I've got notebooks full of scribbles that I've got a lot of great ideas. You know, the idea fairy visits me often. Um, so really narrowing those things down into a feasible market plan and something that there is a place in the market for. You know, it's trial and error. It's a lot of resiliency to be an entrepreneur. You know, even if you've been doing it and have been in the private sector for a long time, I think it's a bigger challenge. And I often speak to law enforcement and military veterans about breaking that barrier of entry. You know, a lot of times we feel so out of place in the private sector when we try to do something because we don't speak that vernacular. People don't share our experiences. It's not quite the locker room that, you know, it is at the kennel. And so we feel real out of place, and that can be a major barrier of entry is just really shooting down your confidence. And so getting the mindset, I think some people are more apt to you know, just have it. Others are shaped by their experiences, and they want to get out of what they're currently doing, and they see starting their own business as a way or a vehicle to move them in a direction that they want to go. So for me, it's just, you know, it's been something that, you know, my wife will tell you, you know, she'll drag me out of a room when I say we're leaving. It's 20 minutes later, I'm still talking to people. So this was a way for me to kind of get that, utilize that skill, if you will. She may have a different word for it, but to be able to engage with people, and the people that I'm most passionate about are military veterans and law enforcement officers. So I really feel like it's a good thing. I really appreciate that question, and I appreciate your comments. But you've got to be resilient, just like you are on the battlefield. You got to find good partners that build you up and help you accomplish the mission. I think we've done that.
Yeah, I mean, there are military and law enforcement, first responder folks that have started their own consulting companies, consulting to civilian business owners, leadership, entrepreneurs on how to communicate the way we communicate. You know, so bring your language to the table is actually a business idea that's worked out well for quite a few people. And that's one of the things that I tell folks too is, you know, don't be shy. And I have the same problem that you do. You know, my wife will say, "Hey, it's time to go," and 30 minutes later, I'm still talking to people walking around the room. And I guess we share that too, Jason. You know, the company videos talk and the paperwork talks about helping those 10 high risk business areas. What are those? I mean, we've talked about the Second Amendment, folks, the gun businesses, but what are the others that you guys focus on?
Well, the gun industry is really the one that it comes, you know, kind of jumps to the front of the line. And I think, first off, let me talk a little bit about what high risk industry means and how where that terminology comes from. So, given that I say firearms kind of at the front of the line, when we say high risk industries, you know, it goes back to what you're saying at the beginning, what we talked about, but the acquiring banks are really the ones who make these decisions, and they don't know an explanation to anybody in terms of what they consider to be high risk. That's why you see, you know, the firearms industry, you know, processing is a dirty word. You know, I know you and I had some discussions, you know, off camera prior to this where, you know, people, I'm sure many of the viewers, and some of them may have had it happen to them themselves. You know, they are put into a high risk category. And that justifies charging a higher rate with higher reserves. And I mean, it's the most underserved and overcharged industry that I've seen. So that's where, you know, I want people to understand where that designation comes from. It's not just something we throw in a category, but in that category, there's several businesses you have your, now the CBD industry, with all of the regulated dispensaries and stuff, used to be cash only. And now when I started, we were not able to process anything in that industry. Now we're able to do that. So online gaming and gambling, that's also, as you see the rise of sports books, your FanDuels and stuff like that across the country, those have been highly regulated and considered to be high risk transactions. And just to kind of, I won't go over the whole gamut because there's more than 10, I'm sure. But, just to kind of give you perspective, when I say that the banks are the ones that give the designation, a firearms transaction, as we all know, I mean, it's pretty regulated regardless of what certain people on certain political sides want to say. But it's a very regulated transaction. That particular transaction, even though name, address, background check, all that stuff has to be provided and is cleared through the ATF, is considered to be in the same high risk category as a consultant, a business coach. I know several of them. It's because they look at it from the justification is we have to charge more, or this is an inconsistent revenue stream in terms of revenue generation. And so, there's high probability of chargebacks and fraud. So we're going to charge you more. So that being the basis, you can see the irony of probably one of the most regulated transactions in the retail market being considered one of the highest risk, especially online firearm sales, because you have to transfer it to an FFL to complete the sale. So that basic principle goes across several industries, not just firearms, not just CBD, but I mean, you're talking life coaches, consultants, etc.
So how do you guys do it? Do you have your own bank that's part of the company, or a business partner that you have influence over? Is that how you work that?
Yeah. So I mean, essentially, you can't just walk. I mean, unless you just got heavy pockets, not just going to go start up your own payment gateway. You're not going to become your own payment provider. You're going to have to find a good partner in the industry. That partner is going to provide you the infrastructure in terms of gateway and processing channels, relationships with the card companies and the banks who make all of those transactional decisions, including the rates. And so what people don't realize, that when I say I'm a startup, I'm new, and I actually had, with one of my first presentations was against JP Chase, and of course they're a long-standing, bank, and the questions asked, well, why would I leave the world's largest bank, or one of them to go, to give you, $60 million? Well, the financial regulatory hoops that we've jumped through are exactly the same. And we're just hooked up with financial infrastructure partners that have been in the payments industry, and they provide opportunities for guys like me who understand the industry to partner with them, operate and piggyback off of some of their licenses. And so I'm able to kind of circumvent, having to put down $5 million. Still startup costs and everything, but if you have good channel partners and good infrastructure technology partners in the payment space that meet all the regulatory requirements, it does make life a lot easier. So that's what we have. That's who we have. They're behind the scenes, and they do a phenomenal job. As you saw in the video, over 30 years with those guys. They're gun nuts. They're MAGA guys. And I had to look hard to find that in this industry. But our sponsor bank is really, like I said, what makes those rules. And they are very 2A friendly. So, we're not a cancel culture, person. Our company wouldn't work without those partners. So I'm very fortunate to have those partners. But to answer kind of how we help those guys. I'll give you a quick example. I had a guy call me. He was referred to me from another gun guy. He's a small guy, FFL. He does suppressor work, uppers for ARs. He's done maybe $20,000 a month out of his home. He's just a sole proprietor, just a guy with a skill. And he called me up in a panic. I got a text from a buddy, said, "Hey, can you call this guy?" I called him at 10 o'clock at night. But this guy, just a good old boy who's just hardworking, an influencer on YouTube, bought one of his products and did a video on it, and it's got millions of views. And next thing you know, he's up over $200,000 a month from $20,000. Well, his credit card processor, didn't change his reserve, so 20% of 20,000 versus 20% of 200,000 is a little bit different. So his money was being tied up. They stopped answering his phone calls. They subcontracted him out because they said they wanted the gun market, but they didn't really like the gun market. So they subbed him out to a subprime processor, and it was just a mess. So what we do is we come in, help them navigate transitioning away from those things that kind of hold the keys to their business and try to never give them back. And we try to let those guys operate with autonomy. And I told them straight up, I don't want, tomorrow when you wake up, you're not going to have a payment processor. You're going to have an advocate for your business that has the same values that you do.
That's what I wanted to get at. We got to take our last break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. I think I got a hand up over in the audience, and we'll take that last question. I'm talking with CEO and founder of 14 Bravo. This is a unique company, folks. You need to go check it out at 14bravo.com. I think you're going to like what you see. If you watch this show, you're going to like what you hear. Share it with your friends, especially your business friends. We'll be right back on The Rob Maness Show.
News is moving faster than ever, and so are we. Worldview Tube brings you 24/7 live stream coverage and now real-time alerts when it matters most. Once you have the Worldview Tube app installed, exit the app and navigate your way to Settings. In Settings, locate the tab labeled Notifications. Select the Notifications tab. Scroll down until you locate the Worldview Tube app icon. Select the tab, and here you can turn on and customize your notification experience for the Worldview Tube app. News doesn't wait, and neither should you. Turn on push notifications to stay informed. Every headline as it happens.
Tailgate, sitting there watching all these pretty things. Get down in that Georgia clay and I'll find peace at the bottom of a real tall cold drink. I'm chilling with some Skinner and some old hay. Let's get this thing started, it's my kind of party. Well, if you want a drink, go baby, just do your thing. Give up your keys.
Hey guys, Donald Trump Jr. here. Hope you guys are having an incredible day. Sorry I couldn't make the Kentucky Elgin Outdoor Festival this time around. I'm actually doing what we're all passionate about. I'm actually in Alaska as we speak, doing my outdoor thing. So thank you so much for the Second Amendment Advocacy Award. I promise I'll never stop fighting for it. It's something I truly believe in, and hence why I'm actually living that lifestyle and not able to join you guys today.
Watching all these pretty things. Get down in that Georgia clay and I'll find peace at the bottom of a real tall cold drink.
Welcome back to the Rob Maness Show here on Worldview Tube and our X Spaces simulcast. And we're live for the last segment of our show with the founder and CEO of 14 Bravo. That's our Training Tuesday subject. It's a unique style of company. It's a startup in the financial tech world of payment processing, amongst other things. And Jason is a retired law enforcement sergeant and was a bomb dog handler too, amongst many, many other things that he's been involved in. And the latest is this unique company. And that message you just heard from Don Jr. there, he got an award, but this company has a purpose and a mission. And one of those things is to support things like the Second Amendment. Jason, welcome back. I had to show that clip when I came across it because it generates some good questions, number one, and people recognize the voice and the face and all that. And also, there was another award there, and the video didn't mention her, but it's Casey Crosby, who is the current vice chair of the Republican National Committee, because she's a staunch Second Amendment advocate, too, and from Kentucky, I might add. So we have to give her a shout out there. But so have you been able to partner with and get endorsements from major MAGA players like Don Jr. And obviously people listen to a message from when you get an individual like that?
Yeah, well, I'll be honest with you. I don't ask for endorsements.
Good.
You know, that's a complicated world, as you know. I want to be able to stand on my own 2 feet, as gracious as those guys have been, and you know, big thanks to Don Jr., you know, and KC. And where that originated from was, you know, as we started dealing with the firearms industry, you know, it's tough, as you said, it's tough for a startup, you know, to kind of break in when you're going against some of the bigs. And so we've got to be different. So obviously you and I have some mutual friends. So I made some phone calls and I said, hey, you know, I want to give it a 2A advocacy award, and I want the premise of it to be a couple people who have clearly have a track record of advocating for the Second Amendment and Americans' rights to bear arms. And so my good friend at Kentucky Gun Co., Patrick, one of the largest retailers in America, they hosted Elk Fest. 10 to 15,000 people there, and that's where they do the elk draw lottery for the elk tags. They have a limited amount of those that go out. And so that was kind of our company launch. And Casey was able to come down and join us. Her husband, Scott, and I have been very, very close, one of my best friends. And, you know, Don Jr. was extremely, I mean, he was awesome to work with. You know, an award from a guy like me, you know, company just starting up, you know, doesn't really, you know, resonate at that time. And I will say he took the time, you know, he was going to try to make it down there and he got stuck hunting, going a little bit further than he had anticipated. So everybody's kind of freaking out because we don't have him there. And all of a sudden, you know, we get a video sent to us on, you know, on my iPhone of him on the plane accepting the award. And so, you know, able to get great partners like, you know, Smith & Wesson Federal Ammunition, U.S. Law Shield, those guys on there. So big thanks to all of those people. But that's where we really wanted to be different. We didn't ask for endorsements for many of those, and I won't. I think that as we progress, our differentiator in terms of our brand personality is going to speak volumes. And, you know, I think those take notice if they haven't already and jump on board.
Oh, yeah, absolutely, man. One of the things Task Force Bravo does, in addition to, you know, supporting financially through transactions percentages, is you guys, don't they do like events and everything where they focus on one of the three areas and bring people in to do something in an event like a run or maybe a shooting competition, those kinds of things?
Well, something along those lines. Task Force Bravo, what we have, and I'll tie it directly into what we have coming up next month. But we have those three avenues, the Blue Angel, Land Shark, and Blind Echo. In September, for instance, what Task Force Bravo does is if you go to our webpage, anybody can go nominate an organization, a cause, or an event that falls within those categories of military, military families, law enforcement, or working canines, and they can fill out a nomination form that has kind of the parameters that we need. They can submit an event, cause, or organization to be that specific month's operation, and then we'll look at those and see which one, those are chosen based off just impact. And so what it does is it gives people an opportunity to engage with our company, to nominate, these organizations that we say we support, and we do. We show them that we do. It's not just a matter of, oh yeah, we give some profits. We also want to give you the opportunity to raise money yourself and provide the infrastructure for that. So we do that in a couple ways. This month in September, I'm happy to say that we've launched our first official Operation Blue Angel project. And that mission is going to go towards supporting the Fraternal Order Police. They have a mental health summit coming up for law enforcement officers and survivors, widows, and family members of fallen officers. And that's something that is very, very close to home for me. I had a good friend that was murdered in the line of duty that I worked with, good childhood friend. The officer suicide rate is through the roof. I saw an FBI report the other day that said, over the last 4 years in that trend, that we had 258 police officers killed in the line of duty, and that was the highest 4-year trend in over 2 decades. So this mental health summit, I want to fully get behind, and I'm asking everybody to help us get behind. But what we're able to do is, starting in September, you can go on to 14bravo.com. You can check out our online store. There's stuff being added to it daily. You can buy a hat. You can buy, a cup, a tumbler, a shirt, and our profit from that purchase during that month is going to go towards that operation to help them achieve their goal and hopefully pay for all of it. So our goal for the month of September is to get this mental health summit paid for, so that the widows of fallen officers and their kids don't have to pay to come to that, and that the FOP, they're helping them also, but it helps put that money back into the organization so that they can continue to do that. And so we give a mission brief at the end of the month, and say, hey, here's what we raised, here's what we donated, mission complete. It's all transparent. Here's who we gave the money to. It's not, we held a concert in California and nobody knows where the money is. But really excited about that. And I will say, give a plug to my good friends at Black Ash Tactical. They've created a one-of-a-kind holster. We're going to release that. I'll make sure you are the first person that has that link to spread. Awesome. But awesome stuff.
Absolutely, it is. Well, I got one more question from the audience. It's from my host, so I have to take it. We only got a couple minutes left, though, so be quick, Shell. Go ahead.
I'll be quick, sir. Chrissy asked, this sounds like social credit score technology, sir. Can you quell her fears?
In terms of our technology, it is not social.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry?
You're correct. Go ahead.
Yeah, in terms of our technology, no. Honestly, if the bank's good with processing you, that's probably one of the few areas I'll say I'm libertarian on. Is I want you to go do you. The financial industry, and that's probably a good way to end it. The financial industry, with all the regulations, I could see what you're talking about. We're trying to operate within those parameters to provide opportunities for cancel culture free, processing to the fullest extent that the industry will allow, so that you don't have to worry about things like a social credit score or even your business credit score. So definitely not our aim here, but we're here to help.
Well, thank you. Thank you for spending an hour of your time. I know you're a very busy guy, Jason.
No, thank you. It's an honor.
This is a great company, folks. And you heard it right there, my friend Jason Rotherman there. This is to get the people out of being susceptible to things like a social credit score. It's so that lists of gun buyers can't be made and given to any level of government, because it's against the law. That law called the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and the Second Amendment. It's against the law to have a gun registry in this country. And this is the kind of company that you need to support that will prevent that from happening. Tomorrow's Whistleblower Wednesday, and George Papadopoulos, is going to be with us, I think, talking about the FBI hoax, Russia hoax, and everything that's going on with that from his perspective. And second half of the show, we'll have L. Todd Wood, CEO of CDM Media. He's on location in Beirut, Lebanon, where the heart of things like Islamism are at. We'll see you then on The Rob Maness Show.